Ed Garcia.
How's it going? Andrew,
so
thanks
good.
for inviting me into your home, into your basement, or did I tell people this is your home?
Don't dox me like that.
Okay,
No, I'm just
okay.
kidding. This
This
is
random.
not a professional set by any means.
No, it looks good, man. I like the lighting. I remember the first time I saw one of your videos, and I was like, "Fuck, they have better lighting than us." And I was like, "No, it looks good. I love what you guys do. I love all the stuff you guys do for local stuff, and appreciate you having me on."
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate everything you do for local stuff. That's why we've got a nice crossover episode here. It's happening.
It's weird interviewing an interviewer, or being the interviewed. When you're usually the person asking the questions. And I'm like, what are we talking about? I don't have like the show log. I have to like peek over there and see like what's going on.
Yeah. I got like two things here. It's not really. I mostly just like. It's like you prepare a little bit, but I'm always kind of just like riffing, and like we always go where you don't expect to go anyways, you know?
Yeah, that's usually how I am too. I usually write like a couple like, okay, let's have this topic and this topic and just kind of figure out.
In fact, these aren't even your notes. I'm gonna have your notes.
I love it. We're live. Whose notes are those?
Misfits. I had them in yesterday. Like the management company.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good. But so you for the people who aren't in the know, which is probably very few, I feel like the crossover is like if you're into the local band scene, anyone who's watching this right now probably knows the gist, but
maybe the bands will probably know who I am, but not anybody else watching. I don't think they'll be like, "Who's this guy? What band is he in?"
But you always like every band who's noteworthy in this city. I feel like you're on their Instagram at some point because it's you do the interview.
Yeah, River City Rocks every Sunday night at 9 on Power 97, and it's our way to kind of give back to the local community, because if we're as a radio station not supporting local bands, then who is? I guess the local clubs and whatnot, which is awesome. And I think that's like one of the best parts of Winnipeg, that there is a local scene, and that there are venues, like Side Stage and Public Domain and Handsome Daughter and Osborne Tap House and on and on and on, that actually do support local bands. Like I come from Vancouver, where it's like it used to be like that, and like more and more they've lost so many venues where local bands can play, and it's like, okay, the Biltmore's still there, Hollywood Theater's still there, but so many other places that I grew up in that city are just kind of gone and are like a condo building now. Like Richards on Richards is a condo building, and I know, like, I guess that's the zoo, I guess here is but at least it's still called the zoo, and you have those memories of it.
New ones always pop up, right?
Yep.
Like we lost the Goodwill a few years back, but that's now it's public domain. It's a new thing.
I was so embarrassed. I thought they just took over the same space, but it's like the building beside it. Because I went to see Fake Talk and Luana Moth and somebody else for Winterruption playing the same night.
Was that Bland, or was that different?
No, I've seen Bland. That was a different night. But I just assumed I was walking into the same venue. It's like, no, it's actually next door. I'm like, okay. I've been saying on my show, it's like, it's where the Goodwill is. Like, close enough though. You'll figure it out.
And I love like the tap house will literally just like, you could not have a gig ever in your life, and you just message Riley and he's like, yep, this day it's open.
Riley's a beaut.
Yeah.
I love that exists here, and it's bands can go and grow and become who they are, and it's such a tight-knit scene too. Like I feel like everybody knows everybody. Like everybody is connected somehow with another band, that they were either in that band or they're just friends with that band, or like, our drummer used to be in drums in both bands, and it's just kind of that kind of scene. I love it.
Yeah. It's cool how there's kind of like sub scenes within the scene, Like,
Oh,
you kind of see,
I'm sure
like,
they're cliques that nobody wants to tell me about.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, no, everybody loves each other. Tell the guy on the radio, everybody loves each other.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're like cliques and little
Yeah,
bits of
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
can't stand that guy. Or
Yeah,
like, oh, somebody slept with that person and they can't actually open for each other anymore.
Right. Or just like the incestuous nature of the bands where
Yeah.
like everyone plays with everyone, but it's like, okay, like these like 6 bands are all like connected through like which members are playing in them, and then you have this group over here, you know. When did you start doing radio? How did you get into it?
I've been working for Chorus for like 18 years. How do I go back even further than this? My best friend always tells me that when I got into radio, he's like, man, this is all what you always wanted to do in high school. I was like, was it? Was it really? Like, it was one of the things I wanted to do. I think at some point I wanted to be a professional wrestler or be in a band, or, you know, I think I assumed I'd just be middle management somewhere for some company pushing papers. And then when I went to college, I was doing the marketing program in Kwantlen in Vancouver, in Richmond, technically. And I don't know, I didn't really like it. Like, I liked some of it, but like, you're doing business administration, you're doing like all accounting and all these things. And I didn't care. But I liked doing presentations. And one of my teachers was like, hey, why don't you get in the media? And I was like, oh yeah, I should I should try and do that. So I took a couple part-time classes at BCIT, which is kind of like Red River here, right? Like a technical school. And I took a couple intro to journalism classes. I took a couple intro to radio classes, and I just fell in love with the radio and just the whole being live and local focus of radio. And I don't know, I was thinking about, like, at some point I was like, do I want to be Ron Burgundy? And I can't picture myself like in a tie, you know, being like Lisa Dutton reading the 6:00 news. That's not me. Yeah. I want to talk about the new stuff, but I don't want to do it in that kind of fashion.
Oh, that's so I never really thought about this like that. But yeah, radio broadcasters, way chiller.
Yeah.
Always.
It's always, and it's just like you can show up in your, I don't even know what I'm wearing today. My Crown Lens t-shirt and jeans. Because our station is at 201 Portage, there in Portage in Maine. And it's, one of the big buildings there. And it's like bankers and lawyers and everybody's like dressed up. And here's me in my jeans and my boots and my, if it's not winter, leather jacket or, or my parka or whatever. And it just doesn't go. And it's like, man, but our news people will go up and they look like they fit. Everybody on Global look like they fit. So anyway, I took the intro to radio class and I really liked it. So I applied to the full-time radio program and I didn't get in and I was kind of bummed. At some point there, I started interning at MTV Canada. That's where I actually met Brody from QX.
Okay.
He was, I don't think he was interning. He was more like a guest, doing guest spots there, because at the time he was an actor. And me and him became buddies, and he actually got me a job at like Cactus Club back in the day. And it was just, I was having a great time kind of being like the research intern at MTV Canada when it used to be there on Robson Street. And after that, finally get into the full-time program. And usually, actually, my second year at BCIT, I got a job at Chorus for a traffic reporter. I was like the overnight traffic reporter on the weekends. My girlfriend at the time loved that.
Yeah.
Like I'd be in school, Monday to Friday, then all of a sudden I got to flip my thing. And I'm just like, brutal, I would show up to work with like 2 rock stars and a giant coffee. Yeah. And I knew when I'd have to drink each of them to stay awake to drive home at the end of the shift. And one of the reasons I wanted to work at AM 730 was it was in the same building. It's a brother station to CFOX, which is kind of like Power 97, but in Vancouver. That was like the station I grew up listening to. And they had things like Vancouver Seeds, where I guess very much like the old River City Rocks was like the way to bring bands to a bigger audience. And it would kind of be like a battle of the bands. And at the end of, each year they'd have like, somebody gets a record contract. This is like where Matthew Good came from. This is where like Big Biff Naked came from. This is where Nickelback came from. I'm sorry, I wasn't there at the time, but that was, that's kind of where that came from. And so when I came here, it was kind of like, we should do something like that. I'd had no idea, like, what River City Rocks was at the time. So yeah, after a couple of years of doing traffic, and I was like a part-time sports guy for a while, had an MMA show called Fat Lip Radio, where we talked like UFC and MMA and stuff like that before it got taken over by Nevermind. And at some point, I got asked by the manager at CFox, like, hey, have you ever thought about, being on FM radio, being on CFox? I'm like, Dustin, I've been waiting 10 years for you to ask me this question. Yes, please. And yeah, I was there at CFox for 8-9 years. And then there was an opening here in Winnipeg, and they asked if I want to move. And I was like, sure, I could use a change of pace, because I was just doing like the weekend show there in Vancouver. And here I am.
Nice. And when was that then?
That was 2022 when I moved from Vancouver to Winnipeg, dealing with a divorce at the time. So I kind of needed, wanted to change the scene, change the scenery. And yeah, kind of got here, got acclimated to, this one great city. And us, bringing back River City Rocks, I was at a Monowhale show, and the opening bands were Show Pony and the Haleys. And I think Show Pony started first. I was like, fuck, these guys are really good. Yeah. These guys are really good. Then the Haleys get on, like, these girls are also really good. And like, Monowhales killed it as they would. And I just went to my boss the next day. I was like, can we do anything for local bands? And I was trying to explain to him like the Seeds program in Vancouver. It's like, actually Colin, our promotions manager I was talking to, he was like, we used to have a thing called River City Rocks, and maybe we could bring something like that. And there was just like a lot of back and forth between me and Colin and our boss of like how it would be, because it couldn't be like it used to be, but like what if we just had like a feature and an interview? And that's kind of how it became, just, baby steps of, it used to be, I think Wednesdays at the end of my show, we just have a band come in, here's a song, here's a quick 2-minute interview, and there's your highlight.
Nice.
And then a couple years later, when I got a new boss, she was like, okay, what if we moved it to Sunday, but we make it a longer interview? It's 2 songs and 2 bigger interviews, so you get to know the bands a little bit better. And I was like, yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Cool. And that's kind of where we're at now.
Sick. And are you sort of like picking bands as well, or is it like how does it work? That
basically it's bands will go to like we just say, like we say in the commercials, and like we say on the website, literally just submit your songs and we'll go through it. I'll kind of like, there's so many, like thankfully there's so many great artists, and if I've missed you, I'm sorry, that wasn't on purpose. I will get to you. Like I think certain bands have figured out, like if you just kind of bug me, I'll get you on a lot quicker than just waiting for it. But I'll usually go through and just kind of listen, and not necessarily, it's not always like, oh, this is my favorite band. It's like, okay, you have to kind of put that fan hat away and be like, is this objectively good?
Yeah.
Does it sound like a professional recording? Are they playing soon? Like that's the other thing. I always like to time these out for when they're playing a show. So at least, okay, you're coming to the Power 97 audience. You have this bigger audience than you probably have for most other things. Let people know where they can see you live, instead of like, here's a new album, we don't actually have any shows coming up. Because I've had a couple of those where I'm just like, oh, are we not plugging anything? Okay, I guess it's a get to know you half hour.
Get plugged into our Instagram so you can find out when we'll be there in whatever 4 months.
So that's usually how I try to time it. Also with the change to Power 97 being more of an alt station than the harder rock station, it's like, okay, I'm not really supposed to have these hard rock bands, but they also grew up loving Power 97. So it's all right. We'll try and get those still, but it's always like, I'm also trying to find bands that kind of fit a bit more, more the platform now,
Yeah.
as opposed to the old one. But we'll still get like, heavier bands coming through, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll deal with my boss.
Yeah. What'd you grow up listening to?
God, rock, kind of like a little bit of everything. 90s grunge is kind of, I guess, my base for that. Nirvana and Soundgarden and Alice in Chains were really, I think, like key for me in like the mid 90s. Then those non grunge alt bands like the Pumpkins and STP and a lot of what was just on the radio. I don't think I really listened to like classic rock until much later. Like I might like Led Zeppelin's one of my favorite bands, but like it wasn't until almost after high school. I remember they released their greatest hits, their Better Days, or whatever their greatest hits was, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize this is Led Zeppelin.
Right.
I thought they were just
Right,
in my
right.
head. They were just like classic rock songs. When you turned on Classic Rock 101 in Vancouver, it's like, oh, all of the classic rock songs I like are actually just Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It's
Well, they had some odd ones like Tangerine was a song like that for me.
Yeah.
Like until I was like listening to the album, like, oh, I just thought that was like because it doesn't really sound like Led Zeppelin,
No.
quote unquote.
like in my head, like Zeppelin was literally just like Stairway and Fool in the Rain.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the only two songs that for whatever reason I just connected with Zeppelin at the time. Then it was like, oh, Black Dog's Zeppelin. Oh, Rock and Roll is Zeppelin.
Yeah,
oh, Immigrant Song. Like all these songs are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. I guess I'm a Zeppelin fan.
Yeah,
And like Jimi Hendrix. I always loved Jimi Hendrix back in the day. But yeah, from there it's just, God, so much post-punk, garage rock revival from the 2000s. Like I love the Strokes, Yeah Yeahs, Metric, that kind of stuff. Like 2000s alt is really like if you looked at my Apple Music now and like just like what has he been listening to the past little bit, it's actually probably mostly 2000s post-punk whatever revival, whatever that New York Brooklyn scene is called, plus like the Canadian stuff from Toronto, I guess.
Dope. I love that scene. All the indie rock, alt rock, that's my shit. Yeah. So you got into radio while it was very much alive, and then it had a little bit of a death, but it is still thriving, but it's down, right?
It's down. It's a weird thing. People like to think that like radio is on its deathbed, and it's actually not really. Perceptively it is. I think sales wise, if we looked at our sales numbers, it's definitely hurting right now. But like as far as listenership, if you're in your car, you're probably listening to the radio. And for the people who are listening to Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming device they are, back in the day, they probably would have been listening to their CDs. You know what I mean?
Right.
They would have been those people. So it's like, okay, we didn't lose that much of a market share to streaming or podcasts. They would have been listening to AM talk radio, as, for the podcasts, or they would have been listening to CDs or cassettes in their car. Like we definitely lost like the home listener. Right. I remember like, you used to have like on your alarm clock and like, you'd wake up to whatever morning show. That doesn't exist as it used to. But as far as like the, as long as cars have AM and FM radio, we're hanging on. I think like the sad thing is like the TV has been getting killed. Right. A lot of, for our companies, not just our company, but like our competitors, there's so much cost into the television side of it, but so many people are unplugging. Like, I don't know anybody with cable.
No.
I have cable because I get a deal from work, and it's actually like, cheaper for me to have internet and TV than it would be if I just had the regular internet package.
Yeah.
So like, but I didn't like, unless like, sports are on, I'm not really watching TV. So that's like, TV's actually been hurt a lot more than radio as far as listenership versus viewership in the past couple of years. But the listenership for radio is still there. If you need to buy ads, power97.com, find our contact page. But that audience is still there and still engaged and still driving along with us.
Have the ads gotten Are there more ads now than like 10 years ago?
No,
Maybe I notice it more.
I think it's because we're so used to not having ads in other things. Like even if you listen to say Spotify non-premium, right? There's usually like a minute
Yeah.
of ads.
Yeah.
And usually one of them's like, please get premium because whatever,
Yeah,
whatever. Or if you're watching YouTube, right? You'll get like a minute or like a minute or two of ads. And it's always been like, I don't know, like a 3-minute commercial break on the radio, maybe 2 minutes, depending on the format. But like, no, it's like the commercial. It's just, we're just used to other things that we don't have the commercial breaks. I was watching
I guess that
TV
is it, yeah.
the other day, and it was, I think I had just on the Comedy Channel, and it was just like, oh, there's like a bunch of Friends reruns. I can do that while I'm watching, like I'm playing on my phone. And like a commercial went on. I was like, this is the longest commercial break I've ever had. I can't. Why is there so many? But it's like, this is no longer than it ever has been. It's just, we're just so used to being able to either bypass it or, with our streaming, there's just fewer of them on streaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those, like, there's so many like tech companies. I've been watching Silicon Valley the past couple weeks. So
Good
maybe
show.
my head's been such a good show, such a funny show. There's so many, these companies that are trying to disrupt the industry. We're here to disrupt the industry. You think of like Uber,
Right.
we're going to disrupt the cab industry. But it's like, okay, but what happens when you do that? Because you're going to not necessarily screw over a whole bunch of people of their jobs, but it's like you've undercut them on price, but you've been losing all this money this higher time. How are you actually going to make money
Right.
on this thing? Because now like Uber's had to like raise their prices.
Yeah,
and
Uber was
Lyft.
a big one. They just like didn't make any money
Yeah.
forever.
You look at Spotify, like they don't actually make any money.
Yeah.
Or they do make money, but like they don't pay out anything. And I found out like, they're not a platform, right? You don't upload your songs to Spotify. Like say YouTube, right? YouTube, you have to upload your video to YouTube. Right. They don't have any servers. So like basically it's like, oh, so why are you paying all these artists so little when your costs are actually like null? I remember when like Daniel Elk was on I forget what podcast, but he was talking about like, it's basically no cost for musicians. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's no cost for you because you don't even have servers. Right. Like you're just this aggregate site that like takes all the music and just, organize it, which makes it a lot easier for a lot of people. People are just going to do whatever's easier. But it's like your cost is like this, and you're making
I actually don't even know
billions.
how it works for the distributors. Like, do they pay to? I don't know. This is why you go through distributors. You don't have to worry about it. But
you get your check for $4 at the end of the year because
my band has like I think we have $50 in there.
Yeah,
and we're like about to take it out, and they're like, "Oh, there's a fee to take it out." We're like, I guess just keep it in there for the next time we have to pay for.
Oh man, yeah, it's funny, right? Like it's just their back end. How do you pay for it?
Yeah. What are some other like how have you seen the industry change as a broadcaster?
I mean, it's definitely like the money is not there as much as it used to be. Right. Like, the trips and like but that's also indicative of, I guess, other parts of the economy. So like travel agents don't exist anymore, but like travel agents used to like, pay a lot of money to send people to wherever, like Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. Our old station used to do that basically every year. And they'd actually do the show from Ireland. The travel agency would pay for, that trip for not only the listener winners, but also like the radio station would do their show from an Irish pub in Ireland, or a trip to Mexico. I think some stations still do that, but like it used to be through like a travel agent, and like that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like, okay, how do we pay? We're not going to pay out of pocket. It's the sponsor that's supposed to pay for that. Yeah. And like, well, Air Canada and WestJet aren't going to do that because it's like, well, there's only two of us. We don't really need to advertise.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like as those companies kind of consolidate and there are fewer of them, it's like, well, when you have fewer options, what do you need to advertise for? right? So that hurts, our bottom end, because how do we make our money? It's in advertising.
That's I actually did not consider that angle. That's interesting.
Yeah. I remember the car dealerships for a while, was our lifeblood
Yeah.
for the longest
Yeah.
time. And then, through COVID, there was the shortage and the supply chain issues. So like a lot of places didn't even have cars. It's like, well, we're not going to put our ads on the radio because we don't have any cars. We don't have any inventory. How can we do that? And it's like, oh, that killed us for a while. And then as slowly as the inventory started building back up, it's like, well, people know where to buy a car. It's like, no, but like we want to give away a thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're always thankful when they are, their inventories are high, and it's like, all right, we're selling the whatever car.
Yeah. What do you drive?
I don't drive.
Don't drive?
I drove
Nice.
the Country 99 vehicle here today because the Power 97 vehicle is off getting washed and detailed, because we got an event at Tavern United Garden City tomorrow. So that's where I'll be tomorrow night. But no, I live in the Exchange. I work in downtown, basically near the Exchange.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's just like an expense that I just don't
Yeah.
need. I remember when I moved here, my buddy Asa used to work for Fox Sports Soccer, that used to, for whatever reason, was filmed in Winnipeg like 15 years ago. And I was like, hey man, when you lived in Winnipeg, how far away could you, how far could you walk before you die in like -40? He'd be like, I don't know, like 10 minutes. Okay, cool. I found a place that's like 7 minutes away.
Yeah.
This is perfect. And I don't know, try to live as car free as possible, which is ironic because cars are kind of like the lifeblood of my industry. And if we didn't have people driving around, what are you going to do? But yeah, no, it's just,
So actually, do you listen to radio?
Yeah, I listen to radio. I'll listen to the other stations when I can. I listen to other stations like in different markets. I'll tap into CFox in Vancouver every now and then. Edge in Toronto, I used to work at. I'll dip into them every now and then. The bigger stations like Indie 88 in Toronto, they do great stuff. I think it's Live. I forget it's Live. Well, it must be Live 88 in Ottawa that does some great stuff. The Bear in Edmonton, Sonic in Edmonton, 92X in Calgary, The Edge in Calgary. What's the other one in Calgary? Oh, CJ in Calgary. So many great stations, and I have friends in most of those places. So, check in with them every now and then. And if you have the iHeartRadio app, you can listen to most of them.
Nice.
That's another thing I don't know if we do well enough is our streaming. Because if you go to the website, if you go to the website, it's easy enough, right? You click the thing. And if you're maybe at an office or at home, if you don't have a physical radio, I remember I didn't have a physical radio for the longest time. I do now, but if you don't have physical, you can just listen on the website. But if you want to listen on your phone, it's got to be through an app. And some of the apps are this isn't easy to navigate through. Right. How do I, you know what I mean? And if it's I'm not an idiot with tech, so if I'm having a hard time figuring this out, how are most of our listeners trying to figure this out? And I remember one time with the radio player app, I figured out a way that you could set your alarm to open the radio player app. And I was like, we've had this problem we talked about earlier. People used to wake up to the radio, but they wake up to their phone now. How do we not have this an easier setting to tell people? And I showed my boss, and he was like, this is too complicated. Just keep it simple. I'm like, but how do we tell them to make it simple, right? How do the people designing the apps make it simple? Because if Spotify is easier to use, that's what people can use. If Apple Music's easier to use, that's what they'll use. If Bandcamp is easier to use, that's what they're going to use.
We're going to take a super quick break. We'll be right back. I just need to, it's not that we have a sponsor. I wish that was the case.
Somebody sponsor this. Somebody, this is a great show. Sponsor this show. Maybe one of the local record stores. Sponsor this show.
True. Record stores. Into the music. Hit me up. All right. I just got to make sure that...
This was recording?
It's recording, but... And we're back.
Nice.
Oh, what were we talking about? We were just talking about sponsors, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's boring.
Yeah.
But sponsor this show.
Yeah.
Go bug Andrew. Sponsor this show. Give him money.
Yeah. Give me money, please. Come on.
I like the decorating you've done. I was just
Thank you.
admiring all the records.
Got the records, some of them from
Local
from
bands,
guests, yeah.
Holy Void. They're doing some killer stuff, right?
Oh yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
Them right now, who's killing it like outside of Winnipeg? Living Hour
Yeah.
is killing it right now, and Sunday Club, I think, is the other one. I think they just played a New York show. Like those three, it's like, man, awesome stuff.
Who else do we like? Well, I mean, William Prince is huge.
Yeah.
William Prince, I love.
I mean, Boy Golden's got the new stuff out. Fontaine just dropped her album. I was supposed to have her on before the new year, but she got sick, and we've been trying to figure out a new date for that. But she's playing Folk Fest. I saw her, Tinge, who we've had on last year.
Brodowski.
Yeah, I saw the other names. I was like, I don't know these names. but those two I remember.
Who else? I feel like there's like one or two other.
There's like five, there's almost 10, I think, local bands. They said.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So I had the two. I forget their titles. Anyway, we announced the lineup last week, and it was like, oh, cool. I'm like going through this. I'm like, oh, Wolf Parade's coming. Nobody told me that. That's awesome.
Yeah. You usually go to Folk Fest?
I've never been to Folk Fest.
Oh, really?
I've never been to Folk Fest. I kind of retired from music festivals. Like 10 years ago. Went to Pemberton, that's just outside of Vancouver, and it was like Outkast and War on Drugs and Soundgarden and Snoop Dogg and Metric, and I don't know. There's so many bands.
War on Drugs is one of my favorites. I love War on Drugs.
9 Inch Nails was on that. I'm trying to remember. It was such like an awesome big bill, and I was just like, yeah, I'm retired from doing this, from camping out. I will be sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah.
If I ever go to a music festival, but definitely whatever day Wolf Parade, and definitely whatever day of Monsters and Men are playing, I'm going to try and make my way out to Birds Hill. I was a little disappointed Modest Mouse wasn't on the bill, because they're playing Saskatchewan Jazz Festival.
They're like around that time.
Yeah, they're like going to be in Saskatoon on the 7th. And Winnipeg Folk Fest, I think, starts on the 9th.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, who's in charge of Modest Mouse? Can we get you to come over here? It always gets disappointing. It's like, guys, we're just here. You spend all that money to cross the border, because it's very expensive for bands to cross the border. That's why we get so few, I think, in Winnipeg, because like if they're going to cross the border, they like to be able to play at least a couple places, right? So, or it's, big enough city like Toronto where it's like, all right, there's 6.5 million people here in the GTA. We're going to get somebody. And now that, especially with Hamilton's, whatever Cops Coliseum's new name is, that's been rebuilt. It's like, okay, we have another venue to play at the other end of the lake, that it makes it more worth it for bands to cross there. So they'll do the, the Montreal, Toronto, maybe Hamilton trip. But like, it's so far, on the map to get from Hamilton to here, that it's like, okay, they do here. It's like, well, or is Saskatoon or Regina worth it for them? And if it is, awesome. I've heard like Calgary's been the problem lately.
Really?
For a lot of arena bands. I was told that because the Saddle Dome is in such decay, that the speakers that hang from the ceiling when bands play, those are too heavy for the most part for a lot of bands. So like that's why Calgary's been skipped a lot. And
so they just can't hang.
They just can't. So like
they literally can't hang.
They can't. Yeah, they'll collapse the roof. Yeah. And it's like, I know they're building the new building, but I don't think it's going to be done for another year or two. But like I guess the hope is, as soon as Calgary's like done, the new building's done, okay, more shows are going to start coming here. More shows, hopefully, those arena shows. Yeah. Because it hurts when you get skipped. It's just like, hey man, we like your music here too.
Well, it's like even Canadian bands will skip it.
Yeah.
Like The Weeknd was supposed to be here, I don't know, like maybe 5 years ago now. And then he like got extra popular since he booked the show, and then he's like, "Fuck y'all, I'm doing stadiums now." And, then it didn't come back.
That does hurt. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
When they're playing Regina instead.
Yeah.
And I guess because the Banjo Bowl is that weekend, but like, why couldn't you just bump everything else down?
Yeah.
Like, why did Winnipeg have to be that weekend or nothing? It's like, okay, or just start 2 days later, and you can have the stadium fine and play Regina and play all the other ones. But it does. It hurts.
It would be a bitch to be a tour manager.
Oh my God, yeah, because you got to think of like, your logistics plus like everybody else's logistics.
Yeah.
Of like
on that scale too, where it's like there's only one spot in town, that you can't play. It's like you got to line it up perfectly.
And it sucks, especially for like a stadium like that, because there are very few bands that can play a football stadium. So when they're on tour and want to play your venue, it's like, yes, how do we make this happen? Because like otherwise you only get like 9 football games in that thing for this thing that costs, $250 million.
Right.
How do you make it worth it? And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we can't cancel the Banjo Bowl though. Like that's one of their biggest money makers. So how just unfortunate timing, I guess, for the Foos. But yeah, like you said, like when other Canadian, sometimes, when I see a Canadian band skip Winnipeg, I do kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, maybe they're making time on something like, like a Burt Block Party or like Festival. I remember like when Deer Rouge a couple years ago announced their tour, and they're like, I was like, you guys are skipping Winnipeg? And they're like, no, I don't. It's okay. We'll be there. We just can't say. I was like, oh, okay. And like, a couple like weeks later, like we're playing Festival, and we're like, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You're forgiven.
Yeah, you're forgiven. Same like Wolf Parade. I was about to say Wolf Mother. Wolf Parade. When they announced like a bunch of tour dates this year, and they've been so huge in resurgence with the song and Heated Rivalries, and it was like the 20th anniversary last year of that album. And they announced this tour that's going through Edmonton and Calgary and twice in Vancouver. We're like, where's the Winnipeg show? And a couple weeks later, it's like, yeah, we're doing Folk Fest. Like, okay, never mind. We're not mad. We're not mad anymore.
Where's Drake? That's what I want to know. Not only is he corny as fuck, but he hasn't set foot in Winnipeg.
Really?
And maybe he played it like super early in his career, but I don't even think he did.
That's fine. He lost that Kendrick battle.
Yeah, no, I'm not pissed about it. It's just like
I got it.
Yeah.
I feel like that we had some good hip hop artists come through. Maybe just because I'm old, because Wu-Tang was here a couple years ago.
That was a good show. I was at that one.
Oh, you're at that one? I don't know why I didn't go to that one. Was Nas here?
It was the same show.
Oh, it was the same show?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have gone to that one. I still haven't been to, what's the Luchador one at the baseball stadium?
Luchador.
It's like tacos and tequila. There's like it's at the baseball stadium at Shaw Park or whatever the hell they're calling Goldust Park now. And it's tacos and tequila. It's a whole bunch of hip hop artists, and there's like luchador wrestling.
Actually, I did see
happening.
This, yeah.
And I heard like the first year was a gong show, but the second year they figured it out. So hopefully, I think they're going to be. I feel like I read a press release they're going to be back this summer, which I think I'll probably try and go check that out because I don't get enough Shaw Park in my life. What's it called now? No, it's Blue Cross. Blue Cross Park.
Yeah.
I hate it when venues change names.
Yeah, it's the worst. They're all gonna be crypto and gambling soon too.
That's like when I like there's the one time I become a conservative man. It's like these buildings shouldn't be able to change their name.
Yeah.
Keep the name.
But everyone like calls it still by the old one, or there's like I'll still hit a MTS Center. Hasn't been that in like a decade. Or Pittsburgh Pirates had Heinz Stadium, I think it was called
Heinz Field for the football. The Steelers had Heinz Field.
Did I say Pirate? Yeah, Steelers. And now it's not that; it's something else. Yeah. That's bullshit. But people still call it Heinz.
I'm a Giants fan as far as baseball, and so the Giants ballpark. after Candlestick, the one that they're currently playing in, it's gone through a whole bunch of name changes, but not because they got new sponsorships, but because their sponsor kept on getting bought by someone. So it was originally like Pac Bell Ballpark, then it was something else, then like it was AT&T Park, then something else, and all of a sudden now it's I just say the Giants Ballpark now. At some point, it's just like, all right, we're just gonna call you by the team name. I don't even mind like the corporate name. Like if you think of like the Cubs, it's Wrigley Field. That's Wrigley Gum.
Yeah.
But it's been that for over 100 years. They don't dare change the name.
Yeah.
It's like
actually is Fenway.
I don't even know if that's
Fenway
like
is just a dope name.
I think it might be named after somebody. I don't know. Yeah. I've never thought about that.
Because that's gangster, not like it's so historic. Like you can't sell out at this point.
Yeah, I feel like can we Google that? Do we Google during the show, or this? Yeah,
pull it up.
Are these one of these things that like we will never know? Somebody watching is like yelling at their thing, like, "No, idiots! It's Bill Fenway, former mayor of Boston in the 1920s."
Phil Fenway.
Fenway Park. All this active. No, get it away. I need the AI stuff to go away. Give me a proper Google search. Wikipedia. Renovations. Capacity feature. This is the most boring part. This is why you don't Google in the middle of an interview.
This is why you need a producer to Google for you. We need a Jamie to pull
Okay, here we go. Fenway Park. Taylor claimed the name Fenway came from its location in the Fenway neighborhood of Boston.
Sick.
So there you go. Now you know.
Fenway.
And knowing is half the battle.
I don't know any other ones that are like that aren't named after.
Now, no. Like everything's like a sponsor now.
Yeah.
Like it's just too much money in it.
So much money, yeah.
You know, I remember like I think it's in Louisville. The KFC Yum Center was one of my favorites.
God.
Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Can we just like name it after a historical person or just after the city? Center. Like, what did it used to be in Winnipeg? It was like the Winnipeg Stadium and the Winnipeg Arena. And that's just it, right? Like, the Jets played in the arena and the Bombers played in the stadium. And that was it. That I feel like is nice and simple. Vancouver, the Canucks used to play in the Pacific Coliseum. That feels like, a cool name, the Pacific Coliseum. Yeah. Now it's Rogers Arena. It used to be GM Place. And it's like, I remember they even lost the nickname because when it was GM Place, it used to be the Garage. That was the nickname. Then Rogers took over. It's like, well, it can't be the Garage anymore. Now it's like just one of 10 buildings named after Rogers because there's like Rogers Place in Edmonton. The Sky Dome is Rogers now. It's just there's two. You only get that should be another rule. You only get one.
Yeah. What are we doing? Not everything can be Amazon.
Yeah, like I think like the Boston Gardens, like where the Bruins and the Celtics play. It's TD Gardens. It's like what? Toronto Dominion Gardens in Boston? What are we even doing? What are we doing as a society?
Yeah. Good rant. I like that. Speaking of rant, or just speaking, I'm wondering what you learned when you were studying media and broadcasting, and maybe what advice you would have for me as a complete noob.
I mean, I feel like broadcasting school, a lot of it was just kind of basics, right? You're learning to edit. You're learning to kind of just be on air for learning how to talk into a microphone, right? I know like the proper things that, they hold the microphone and you got to be this far away from the microphone, and just kind of getting reps in. A lot of it is just almost meeting people, like some of the people who you go to school with could be your boss one day. Like Jeff Molnar, who I went to radio school with, he's like the boss at Bell here in Winnipeg. He's in charge of Virgin and Bounce, and I guess that's it. There's no Funny anymore. But like the people you went to school with, this is where you learn how to just meet people, learn how to be a good coworker. Otherwise, the basics, I feel like I learned more like my first couple months actually on the job than I actually did in school. But without that base, without those basics of going to like a radio school, without going to like a journalism school, that becomes a lot harder.
Right.
Are you thinking about going to taking some courses?
Probably not.
Not? Okay.
I think it's like you say, you probably just learn more just by doing it.
You do, yeah. But you also like make connections with certain people. Like two of my teachers from my announcing class, because I was taking part-time classes before I got in the full-time program. They're the ones who hooked me up with like my job at AM 730, because they liked what I did the announcing class. So it's like, the people you meet kind of help you get ahead in the industry a little bit better. My interview class, I think, was one of my favorite ones where, she's like, okay, this is your $500 right here. Who, what, how, that's it. Open-ended questions. If you ask yes or no questions, you'll get yes or no answers.
Right.
Open-ended questions. That's it.
Yeah.
We'll be here for 10 more weeks, but that's the entire thing. But you also learn how, things like, when you're the interviewer, you're in charge. You're in charge of the boat, and you're the one who steers the conversation. Let the other person paddle. They're the ones doing all the work and all the talking, but you're the one who steers where this conversation's going.
Yeah.
Other than that, I took a copywriting class. It's like, I don't know if that helps me at all, but it also helped me understand my coworkers. And, it's like if they're writing good copy, what's good copy and what's not. You take announcing class, I forget, so many other classes.
What were any epiphanies you had, any breakthroughs in the announcing?
How to kind of breathe properly. We actually did yoga a lot.
Oh yeah.
In class, and just kind of one breath, one thought, not just like you're losing your breath and you just panic and get out of there, breathing through your diaphragm instead of, breathing through your chest. And, just think about what you're going to say. And just projecting a bit more. This is a weird position to be sitting. Like I usually do when I do my show, I'm standing up most of the time because I think that's how I can breathe a little bit better. But also, like, how do you do it without sounding like this guy? Nobody wants to hear this radio voice guy anymore. It's funny, actually, how many people talk like that in real life. You'd think like, oh, they just put on this voice. It's like, no, they ask him for lunch. He'll talk like that. But yeah, like how do you find your own voice without kind of putting it on? Because even like at the beginning, you've probably noticed this watching, all the interviews you've done, compare like what you do now to the first couple. You're like, oh shit, I didn't find my voice yet, and just kind of having just to do it. You just I think that's the biggest obstacle for most people, not just, for media, but for really anything, is just to get off your couch or get on the couch and do the thing. Because like you're going to be so bad at it when you start. That's the other thing you have to kind of get over. You're going to be so bad at it when you start. Maybe you think you might be great, and some people are better than others when they start, but you're going to get so much better just by kind of doing this every day.
Yeah.
Or every week or every whatever.
And I guess I'm kind of still in that phase. Like I know like my first 10 episodes were like dog meat, not good. And then but like I'll tell people like, oh yeah, like guests coming in, like that's usually their first question. We're just chatting. They're like, oh, how long you been doing this? And I'm like, now it's like 7 months. And they're like, oh, it's like still pretty new. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's still pretty like it feels like back then it was still pretty new, but it is still pretty new now.
How many of these are you doing a week?
I do one every 4 days.
Okay. So yeah, like that's a lot of good reps. And I'm sure like your editing has gotten better.
Oh yeah.
Cause like, like broadcast school, they'll teach you like the basics on how to edit, but like you're going to have to figure out how to do that, be better on your own, your own style of editing too. Like video editing, we never got taught that in radio school, at least not when I was going to radio school. They never thought to like teach us video editing. Now they definitely do, because social media is a big part of what we do. And I remember like one year we were told like our marketing budget is almost, not near what it was. Like, how are we going to get people to listen to our station? It's like, well, we got to do more social media. And so we had to all kind of force ourselves to learn how to edit things, how to edit video on our phone. And I still don't think I'm like a particularly good editor, but I'm so much better at doing it now than I was 2-3 years ago when it was kind of like forced upon us.
Yeah. Well, you'll do like the cuts are in the right places. You get the posters up, as you're doing the River City Rocks guide, and it's like, fundamentals are there. That's really that's what
I find with that. It's like I found a good workflow for that. So I even know like how to film it, how I like it. What gets awkward is like sometimes there's like a solo artist. So I had Silas Presley on a couple weeks ago, and filming that. I don't like to film like the one person. So I have to be in the video. Yeah. And then it's like, but I guess I should give better instructions onto my camera person, because it's just like I just grabbed somebody from the office. I think it was Matt. I grabbed from the office, and I think Matt had the camera on me most of the time. I was like, no, I'm just here. Get it on Silas. But like a lot of appreciation to Matt and whoever else is always sticks around, give me a hand filming when it's like, oh shit, it's a solo. Can we get somebody else?
Because I was talking to the Guilty Sleep boys.
Oh yeah,
a couple weeks ago, and I had never actually thought about this because I would see all the Power 97 posts where you're walking up and give them a fist bump, hey, what's good, and then I'm like, this is a cool aesthetic. It's like, it's consistent, right? It's the same thing every time. It's like, as soon as it pops up in your feed, like, it's 97, it's a cool band, whatever. But then the boys were like pointed out to me how weird it is that you would do the filming and going down like this. And they're just like, all right.
I guess I do take for granted sometimes that like I'm sure these bands have seen this before, and some bands are like, what's going on? And some bands are super into it. Some bands, I think like the Haleys had a little dance they did before, like they're set up like facing the other way and like, oh hey, what's going on? It's like awesome, thank you for doing something different. Or I forget, somebody like ran, I was like, no, don't run, I'm in flip-flops, like what are you doing? So anytime you can get like a little change. But yeah, like for me, finding that workflow that it's like, it's the same every time. So it's like, I don't have to spend a million hours doing this. I kind of know, I try to make it a little different, like jazz up the transitions. So it's a little bit weird if it fits, with their song that I'm playing. Or if they, do something like that dummy we used to have in the hallway and they beat up the Rough Riders dummy, try to include that. But same, with other stuff like the alt update that I do, it's like the workflow. I try to figure out like what's the easiest workflow to do this so I can do it more often and consistently. Right now I like deleted TikTok because of, governmental reasons. But like their green screen was the best green screen, and I've been trying to use Edit's green screen and it's fucking awful. So every time I try to do like one of those alt updates, I'm like, this looks like shit. Like everything's not tight around me, and that's why I haven't been doing those lately. So I kind of save that for the gig guide, because I only have to look awful for like 2 seconds, because the whole middle part is all like the poster shots of everybody's posters, and get me out of it so I can give everybody else their spotlight for the 1 or 2 seconds in the thing.
That's good. You are now a few years in Winnipeg. I think you're properly settled in.
Yeah, I think it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah,
it'll be 4 years later this year.
Yeah, is this home now, for real? You feel like that?
I mean, you can't say forever. I don't plan on moving anytime soon. I've had opportunities to leave. If that first winter was like worse than it was, maybe maybe I would have gone. No, I got an offer to go to Calgary. I got an offer to go to Edmonton, and I was like, no, I'm good. I like it here. I don't want to have to pretend I like the Flames or Oilers, because I fucking hate those two teams and their fan bases. I don't have hate in my heart for the Jets. Right. Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd love to go, back to Vancouver at some point, because that is where I came from, it's like, it's so expensive to live there.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. And for what I always tell my friends every time I go back and visit, it's like, look, I'll be real. There isn't as much to do here, but what there is to do here, you actually get to do. Because you're spent, when you're in Vancouver, like I was working 3 jobs, and working basically 9 shifts a week to be able to pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, you get to the point where you come here and it's like, oh, I only have to work 1 job. So I can go out and still be able to afford to go out and have dinner every once in a while. The dollar doesn't stretch as much as it, did a couple of years ago, but it's still, you're still able to, have that time to go. There's so many great eats in this city. So many great, even though the bigger bands don't come here, there's so many great local bands, as we know with this show as well. It's, there's so many things to do that you can actually go do. Whereas like going to Vancouver, it's like, okay, I'd love to do all these things. I can't.
Yeah.
Toronto, it's almost like you get overwhelmed with so many because they get all the shows. And I've had friends who've, worked at the Edge. It's like, I skip so many shows because there's too many. There's like 3 a week. I can't, even if you get the ticket free, you still have to, you're going out and all that stuff. Yeah. That adds up. And like your rent is 75% of your paycheck. And it's like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. That is stressful.
Yeah.
I think that's part of why Winnipeg has such a dope music scene too.
Yeah.
Because people can fucking afford to do it.
Afford to like, have like a space like this, right? You think of like, if you're living in Vancouver, not only are there not places to play a show, but where are you going to rehearse?
Oh yeah.
Where are you going to practice? Like you can't like in an apartment building, have somebody on a drum set, that's a quick way to get evicted.
Yeah.
And if somebody's got to have a house and the houses are, so expensive. I think Noel Gallagher talked about this a couple of years ago. It's like, that's kind of why rock is dying. Cities like London and Manchester and wherever else, it's become so expensive for really families. Yeah. For families to have a house. Right. Yeah. And who's your buddy with a drum set in the garage? You don't have that in so many cities. So like, that's why maybe hip hop has thrived. Yeah. Solo singers have thrived. The YouTube, like with the acoustic, YouTube singer have thrived because, okay, that's the only way we can do this. But if you have that 3 or 4 piece band, with the proper drum set and, guitar and bass and whatnot, it's hard. It's like maybe the rich kids have it and that's it. You know what I mean? No working class, no middle class families have that, or it's harder to find.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I literally never even thought of that. But yeah, like obviously as it gets, it's harder to make rock music.
Yeah. You think of like, I guess how big country music has become, a lot of country fans are coming from, states like Tennessee where it's like everything's spread out. Everybody's got their homes, Nashville's got a dense downtown, but even just not too far out of their downtown, their homes and affordable homes. Right. And, you can have your person on the drums and on the guitar. And I feel like that's almost one of the reasons why country is thriving at the moment, because they have the working class kids and the middle class kids who are able, to have a band.
Right.
You think how easy it is to get like an instrument nowadays, right? Reverb.com or, wherever else, Facebook Marketplace. Like I didn't have that when I was a kid. Like you kind of had to go to like Law McQuaid or whatever. Like it should be easier in a way to be in a band, but it's not, because like we're gonna put this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, get that acoustic guitar, that Yamaha that somebody gave up on, and you can be that YouTube artist, I guess.
Yeah.
Folk singer until you get big enough to play in a big band.
Yeah, that's always the goal for those people. So it's like, you can do it from the start.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have to like pay a record company, like why would you? Like I forget what, I was watching a reel the other day. The person was talking about like, like all a record company is like basically a bank, a bank with worse terms.
Yeah.
So if you could kind of like incorporate on your own and kind of get incorporate as a business and go to a bank and be like, hey, we can make this money back for this. And if they'll give it to you, if they'll give you the loan, that's almost better than going to a record company who's going to want royalties and, whatever else in perpetuity.
Right. I guess the thing is that the bank wouldn't do that because they want to see like your income for the last 2 years,
Yeah.
right? Which if you are an up and coming band,
Yeah.
you do not have.
Yeah.
So the label takes a risk, but then you are indebted because of it.
Yeah. And there's because there are fewer record labels, right? Because how many, is it 4 majors right now?
I don't even know.
It's
That
like,
sounds right.
yeah, probably. Somebody watching will tell us we're wrong. That's like, actually, there's only 3.
Pull it up, Jimmy.
But like before, they used to be like so many more, and it used to be that like one band would kind of pay for like the 100 that didn't really make it, right? As long as you had like 1 out of 100, that became U2 or Pearl Jam or Bon Jovi or whoever, Taylor Swift, as long as you signed like the one that pays for everybody else, to be able to kind of make a living.
And now that one will pay for like 30,
Yeah.
So then, or less.
Yeah.
So they're just.
And now that, it's also the revenue streams for the bands themselves, right? Like how many bands from the night, like Live just played here last week, Ed Kowalczuk's probably still making bank off everything from Throwing Copper, right? Because all those things still get played on the radio, still get streamed a ton. And it's like, we don't have that platform for new bands. It's kind of more difficult, like our station doesn't really play new music anymore. Like River City Rocks is the only new stuff we play. And, that's kind of because like society's kind of gone away from monoculture. Right. In the 90s, kind of everybody was listening and watching the same things. But, as things have gotten more customizable, we're not watching the same TV networks. You can go on YouTube, you can go watch things on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Your attention's spread elsewhere. Music, same thing, right? It's not just what Power 97 or whatever radio station you listen to is telling you to listen to. It's, anything on Spotify, anything on Apple Music. We don't have that monoculture. So it's like, okay, there's more options than ever. But if you're in it as a band, it's like, oh, there used to be Focus. If you were one of those bands that were there, you were, making a good living out of it. How many hits did the Goo Goo Dolls get? Because they were like, a darling of certain stations, right? And they're probably living off that forever.
And it's weird how like even globally, like a Michael Jackson, for instance, like literally will never happen again.
I mean, I feel like people used to say that. Like Taylor Swift is almost as famous, I think, as Michael Jackson used to be. Now, Michael Jackson used to be like, there would be tribes in Africa.
Yeah, that's what
you know
what
I mean? Like that. Like no society has for whatever reason, but like she is so gigantic, and I guess it's the closest we've had.
Yeah.
To Michael Jackson. So I don't know if it's impossible. Like that, as close as she's gotten, it's like makes me think, okay, it's not impossible. She's there. And it's so funny how like artists like say Ed Sheeran. I couldn't name you 2 Ed Sheeran songs. I don't even know what like his big hit that everyone hates sounds like. But this dude like sells out stadiums. Yeah. Everywhere, wherever he goes. And it's like, okay, we don't have the monoculture, but if you have like this core devoted fan base, and if for some reason, like he's a guy who like hit on like MySpace or something. I don't know much about Ed Sheeran.
I don't know about MySpace.
Okay, however he became like a bigger, but he has this core devoted following that just like he's gonna sell out stadiums everywhere he goes.
I see a lot with like there'll be artists who will sell out the Burt, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. And it's just like, okay, cool. Like you found an audience of whatever 3,000 in the city that they'll pay to come to your show. I've never heard of it. But,
yeah, it is funny. I see local bands like you trying to like compare. It's like, oh, who's the more popular ones? Because you start like looking at like their Instagram count and like, okay, these are the bigger bands. Then you find out there's other bands like, no, they sold out they sold out the Park Theater. Like, okay, all right, maybe we should have them on the show next time. Yeah, it's interesting. Like some bands have a live following. But nothing on social media. Yeah. And some bands are the other way around. Some it's like huge numbers.
Show Pony's big like that. Like
they're great. But they're also like
they're
awesome.
They're pretty good internet presence. Like they're quite good, but like still like they'll sell out shows that people of a similar following online won't.
Yeah. Like, were you at Festival de Voyageur?
Yeah.
Like that show was nuts.
Yeah.
I think I saw them, their single release show. I forget when that was the last time I had them on.
Was it at the park?
At the Park Theater.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
sold out Park Theater.
Yeah,
Like
huge.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like I saw them, like I said, like the first time I saw them, they're the opening band for Mono Whales. And Mono Whales didn't sell that place out.
Yeah.
But the local, you know, this local
Right,
band
right,
that's
right,
grinding it out here, like, and that's so awesome that this city supports them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because they had a big gig, like they had the Burt Block party last year.
Yeah, they had the Burt Block party, which is huge, and they played the big night too. I remember seeing the last year's schedule come out, and I thought the Glorious Sons night was going to be the big night. I thought them and JJ Wild and Everclear was going to be the huge night, and I kind of felt bad for Chopin. It's like, oh, they should have been opening this night because that would have been like great for them. And then nope. Marianas Trench and who was it, Fifi Dobson and like whoever sold out like that. You know, I live down the street from the Burt, and it's just like you could hear the crowd for, you know, usually you can hear the band, like you could hear the crowd, how big that crowd was. And it was like,
sick.
oh, okay, never mind. Chopin, you guys got on the right night. That was the right night to be on there. So awesome for them. Awesome exposure for them. I know the announcements tomorrow for this year's Burt Block party.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully we'll see. You know, I don't know the local bands. I just know the big bands.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll see some awesome local bands out of that bill.
But you know who's on there?
I know.
You want to shout it out?
No.
This will be out.
I don't want to lose my job.
This will be 2 weeks.
8 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
Or whatever. Oh, this is out in 2 weeks?
8 a.m. 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so we already know. We're in oh my God, aren't they incredible?
No, they're crazy. That's crazy.
No, I think they'd pull out my ears if I spoke into a microphone about, especially because it's tomorrow.
Yeah. You couldn't wait one day.
I have a bunch of secrets. There's some announcement on Thursday I got to keep my mouth shut about. Last week with Folk Fest, it was like I was told about of Monsters and Men and Father John Misty. Nobody told me about Wolf Parade. Of all the bands there, I was like, that's one of my favorite bands, or at least one of my favorite Canadian bands. And nobody was like, oh, and Wolf Parade's on there. It's like, yeah, tell me, guys, come on. I've been complaining about this for 2 months.
Yeah. What can you talk about? What's coming up? What do you got cooking? Where can people find you?
What is coming up? God, there's so many great shows coming up. Black Pistol Fire. You ever seen them live?
No.
I saw them play Toronto, the Danforth Music Hall 2 years ago. At some point in the middle of the show, the guitar player, there's only two of them, the guitar player just, stage dives and is playing his guitar without missing a note for like, I don't know how long, a couple minutes. It was just like, this is crazy. This is awesome.
Sick.
And they're playing Park Theater. Oh, I guess we're not going to, it's 1 week from today. So if this is out in 2 weeks, this already happened last week. You should have gone. Yeah. You should have gone to see Black Pistol Fire. Because that's an awesome show. God, I'm trying to think of like what else is going on. Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I'm just going to work. I'm going to work every day. But there are a couple shows that I'm looking forward to that I can't think of. You got any shows that you're looking forward to?
Now I'm trying to think what's going to be after this comes out.
Right? It's so hard to think about like, what? Wait a minute. And I have a big board next to like in the studio at Power 97. There's like a big board of like concerts and it's like written there. And I'm the one who wrote it too. And like, I can't even think of like, what's...
Oh, Fencing is playing. I think it's April 4th.
Okay.
They're one of my favorites in the city. They're fucking awesome.
Oh, Wheatus is playing on the 7th. Also Ran is opening for them. They're Also Ran's my guest this week. I forget the time for the time, but yeah, check out Also Ran with Wheatus because that's going to be awesome. I've never actually met Also Ran. They've been on the show. Guys. They've been on the show twice, And both times they're like, can we just do this over the phone? I'm like, yeah, okay. And this time, I think last week they tried to like can we do it over the phone? I was like, no, you guys can come in. You guys, we've done this enough.
You're not getting away with it again.
You guys are, what's his name? Matt Benniger from the,
from
the National. That's the same night as the Black Pistol Fire show. So that's like, I think I'm going to Black Pistol Fire show. I've seen the National a couple times. July Talk on the 20th. They're so good. Have you seen July Talk live?
No.
Last time, I guess these guys opened for them. That's where I got this t-shirt from. They did an interesting thing with their merch that you can like pre-buy it on their website, and there'll be like a bag waiting for you with like whatever t-shirts. Cool. If you want to buy the 20th anniversary version of their album, you can only get it at their show. Like you can't go to like Into the Music or Frenchies or whatever. Like maybe when it's, somebody like returns it and you can get it used, but like brand new, like you can't just order it off their website. Oh, Rise Against is playing 2 shows. So like when I moved here in 2022, I timed it so that I could see Rise Against twice. So I saw the Vancouver show, then the Burt Block Party show. Yeah. And I was just like, yes, this is nice. Metric canceled that weekend, which kind of spoiled that weekend. But it was like, I got to see Rise Against and Greta Van Fleet, I think were like on the Monday. And it was like, this is a pretty good week to move to Winnipeg. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try and talk my bosses and letting me go to both of those because they're playing back-to-back nights. Wheatus, we talked about. Oh, Sheepdogs. Sheepdogs are great.
Oh, yeah.
Sheepdogs are great. Weird Al. I've never seen Weird Al.
Me neither. That would be a fun one. That would be interesting.
I think that'll be a fun one to check out.
That's when it depends, like, how much is Weird Al selling tickets for? I feel like it could be 50, it could be 100.
We're presenting the show, so hopefully we'll have tickets to give away on Power 97. But otherwise, I don't know. Like, I kind of regret not going to Megadeth a couple weeks ago because I'd never seen Megadeth. And I was just in a bit of a mood, and I was like, I don't want to hear loud music today. Then I saw the pictures, like, I should have seen Megadeth because I've never seen Megadeth. You never want concert regret. Just go to the show.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
If I can leave you with one thing, just go to the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Go to the show, buy the merch, even if it was kind of meh, like that live show was a couple weeks ago. Big Wreck was still awesome, and the Econoline Crusher still awesome. You're still going to find something awesome at a show. And support your local bands.
For real. Good spot to end it. Hey, Garcia, thanks so much. People can find you 2 to 6, right?
2 to 6, Power 97. Yeah. Power97.com. Ed Garcia spelt phonetically on most social media.
Bless. All right.
Thanks, Andrew.